Hi boys and girls, today we're going to learn about Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol is from my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he was a very famous pop artist, and he was a printmaker and a photographer. Andy Warhol was one of the first and most famous pop artists of all time. Pop art is a style of art based on simple, bold images of everyday items, such as a soup can, which is painted in a bright color. Pop artists created pictures of consumer product labels and packaging, photos of celebrities, comic strips, and animals. Pop art can be found on lots of things that you see every day. On this slide, I gave you some examples of where you may have seen pop art and not even realize that you were looking at it. You'll see on here I added a candy wrapper. You can find it on movie posters, comic strips, soup can labels, and even fast food advertisements. Which leads us into our next project, a pop art soup can design. Our learning goal for this project is we're producing a work of art through drawing that utilizes observational skills. Our learning target is I can get ideas from my imagination and I can identify objects made by artists. So remember, we're studying Andy Warhol, so that's the artist that we're thinking about. You're going to get ideas from your imagination because you're going to come up with your own soup can label. And you're also going to be using observational skills, and I want you to take a look around your house and see if you can find any labels from any types of cans. Use those as inspiration to come up with your own creative ways to create your label. Some of the materials listed for this project are optional, but the materials that you will need is you will need a piece of paper or something to draw on. You will need something to draw with. I recommend a pencil in case you make a mistake, then you can use your eraser to erase it. Markers are optional, crayons are optional, paint is optional, pastels are optional, and colored pencils are optional. I always encourage you to add color to your pictures, but if you do not have those materials, you do not have to worry about it. We are going to be drawing some of this project together, so I will upload directions under the Files tab for you to see how to draw the outline of your can. You are going to come up with the label on your own. All right, let's get started. All right, boys and girls, now we're ready to get started on our pop art wrapper and label project. What I want you to do is I want you to find something around your house. If you have an empty wrapper of maybe your favorite piece of candy or a box or a bag of chips, something that you can find that you can draw a section of. And we're looking for something with a colorful label of any type, any nature. If you don't have any candy, you could use an empty box if you want to use an empty box. But the whole point of this is we're going to be drawing a little section of it, and then we're going to try and guess what it is when we're finished drawing it and see if we can figure out which label it is. And remember, today's focus for this project is one, that we're focusing on pop art. If there wasn't such a thing as pop art, we wouldn't have these beautiful pictures or labels on anything that we buy. And we also are going to be talking about covering this entire page of our paper, the whole space of the paper. Space is when we cover the entire area, And what we're doing, since we're drawing something small and we're only going to be drawing a portion of it, we're going to take up this entire paper to draw just that little part. And remember, keep in mind that we are thinking about Andy Warhol since he was a good famous pop artist. All right, so what I want you to do is, if you are able, and only if you are able, to cut a portion of your wrapper or label out, it makes it a little easier to focus on just that small section. If not, you could make some type of frame around the label or area that you're going to draw to block out the rest so you don't get confused. Because again, we're not drawing the entire candy bar wrapper or wrapper or label that you choose. We're only drawing a portion of it. So right now, I'm going to cut out just a small section of what I want to draw. And I'm just going to draw a little area of this Reese's cup wrapper. So I'm just choosing a small area, because remember, I am not cutting up, and I'm cutting it up, but I'm not going to be using the entire paper, the entire wrapper label. All right, so now I've got my little area that I'm going to draw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be drawing this small thing, but I'm taking up this entire space of this paper to draw just this. And I'm not going to make you watch me draw the entire thing, because I do understand that everybody's going to have a different label, so we're not all going to be drawing the same thing, but I am going to give you a little bit of an example of how big I'm talking about. So right now, if I were to start drawing this, I'm going to say I want to start with this E'(S). So I would make sure that I draw it somewhere on my paper, and I am going to make sure that I make it big. So right now, I'm just doing the outline of the E part, and I am drawing it in. And again, you are only drawing the small section. So I don't want you to spend too much time focusing on drawing the entire wrapper. You're only choosing a portion of it to draw for this project. And I'm not going to make you sit and watch me draw this entire thing. I am going to stop and time lapse it so it goes faster, because all you're doing right now is just getting a general idea of how big I'm talking. So now you can see what I'm talking about on here, and I'm going to go and I'm going to continue to finish this entire piece of the label on this whole paper. Again, we're filling up the entire paper. When you're finished, you can go ahead and add color. If you don't have any materials to draw this at home, you can do it on a free drawing app on an iPad or a phone. If you'd rather do it that way, you can do it that way. I'm totally fine with that. When you're finished, make sure you upload it and send it to me. Hope you had fun.